Welcome to EVE Online, I'm Major Freak. So I haven't made a public post for a while. Okay, so this is a blog entry, I think 7 or something in the series, or 5D, or who knows, I forget. Anyway, so it's been an interesting ride so far, and it will continue to be. What do I plan to do about this war? Well, we know we're all toast. All our upwells are pretty much got tags on their toes. How can we pull this out? It's not going to be pretty, of course, by any means. And Domain is doing its best to entertain themselves, so it's not pretty. And it won't be for a couple of people. I worry about them. Yeah, the trollage is. Yeah, well, the game's the game, right? I mean, you got griefing, and people like to enjoy themselves, and if they're grinding, they might as well enjoy themselves grinding other things like metagaming. So, yeah, it's an interesting part of the game. I'll dissect it in detail later. There's too much documentation by them. It's just a gold mine. Maybe even figure out truly what happened to CBA and how they, quote-unquote, crumbled so quickly. So, but for now, what do I do? Well, I have a couple of hull timers coming out on Friday or something like that. Yeah, they lost its armor. Yeah, it's 2 days for the armor timer, and then it seems to be 5 days for me at least, for the hull timer, which is weird. Yeah, do not go to the CCP article on wars. You will, yeah, if you want to become delusional and have a psychotic episode, do it. But yeah, otherwise, just please don't. Just learn from experience or videos or people showing you. You gotta see this to believe it. Anyway, so. 2 have lost its armor. What I didn't realize is that, see, when you join an alliance, it gives you 24 hours hidden timer, and then bam, you're part of the alliance. When you quit an alliance, it's instant, right then, bam, done. And this mass of the spam that you get when anybody leaves Corp is just a replication in EVE mail form notification of every single war that that corporation who left has just taken on. So any war the current alliance has will be transferred, and every single war they've transferred, it gets a notification. So yeah, I mean, that's why all the spam, and it's confusing because it doesn't tell you. It just says lap 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 lap, and it's like, what the? No, it's usual CCP double speak. Ministry of Silly Walks and all that stuff. Okay, so gotta shut up, otherwise just gonna lose it. Right. So I've left the alliance. My reasons originally, it's interesting. I'll follow the chronology of it, but there was some trollage in Discord. I was like, screw these Neville Chamberlains, I'm out. And of course, didn't leave right away. Got some stuff to do first. And during that time, I realized it was just a big troll. It was just, if you can't win, let's just quit the game. Or just look forward and stuff. But ever since there, I've been getting grief from that person. But it's like, dude, it's over. Get over it. But yeah, he's playing that up for big time. And I realized that, why should I leave Alliance for that? But while I was thinking about it, it's like, this is a perfect opportunity if I actually go through and leave Alliance, not because of this jerk-off, but to leave Alliance, and that trollage was the metagame I'm talking about, and it was the whole leaking information, and yeah, it's just, whoa, guys, just seriously, it's a game, just, you're way too into this metagame thing. It's edging on the concept of griefing. Literally, it's very interesting. But anyways, so during that time, I was like, there's a better reason for leaving Alliance. It's not not because you're taking away, like wherefore takes quits, if it's holding corporation single upwell HQ is being hull timered, it'll quit alliance and save its alliance from getting the kill mail, and thus reducing its efficiency or whatever. God, what I'm, it's very petty. Well, if you're interested in Z kill board, then go for it. But the interesting thing I wanted to do is that if I'm going to lose these upwells, I've always wanted it to be, this is a statement of, hey, I've got a competent fit of an Astra house. I know how to work it. This is the way it is. I want that record to be permanent. And you don't get that you'll get that on Zkill, but you won't get that in game. And I want that kind of like, this is what I'm capable of. Be careful if you're a multi-moxing muppet. I mean, if you're Domain and picking on somebody like me, yeah, toast anyways. But yeah, that was my whole, when I started this whole thing, I was like 2 years ago, I was like, let's make it as strong as possible, as competent as possible. Listen to advice from very experienced people who've done it way more times than me, and I had zero experience, and I was like, I want to do it right. So the first time I did it, and the first time I anchored it, the first time I got my stuff set up, it was Mark 1, my Mark 1s you've seen in a couple of videos, and they were good, and they were actually fit how I'd still keep the rigs. Like in the future, I'd still keep the rigs the way I had it set up. So I really enjoyed that, knowing that, hey, my fit was solid. I just needed to tweak a few things after experience. And now I have a Mark III that I love. And I'll be taking with me into the future if I ever decide to plant another upwell and anchor it with a core. And that's going to take CCP waking up and taking off the, people can sell cores to back to the MCC Corporation for full value. It's just, that's why I didn't core my stuff. It's like, what are you guys doing? So, no upwells in the future until CCP figures their shit out. And I don't need upwells. I found after being able to freely swap cheaply implant sets left and right whenever I wanted to without cooldown at upwells, it was great. You get in the same upwell, you can swap clones without, and luckily they changed the convoluted, very user-unfriendly jump clone interface into something. They even put the current, if you're in a station with a clone set you have, it'll pop it to the top. Otherwise, it's alphabetical. It's awesome. And not only that, but they now order it alphabetically regardless of NPC or player station. It used to be NPC, then it'll list alphabetically player. But this is great. It'll list the system first, which is just wonderful and awesome. And yeah, they've done a whole bunch of things with the home station, so they've really improved it. Now, after having, made the mistakes in the old system, and now the new system is just wonderful, I have found, really, honestly, I would have my mains as mining implants, Genolution and mining implants. And I don't lose them because I never go to null or wormhole. So, and if I go to wormhole, I'll switch to an empty clone, or null, right? And I never really used anything but, and I probably won't need it. I used to have a talisman set. I still have a talisman set for my fob work. I switch out for a cheaper energy transfer. It's great. And occasionally, and I used, I'd switch out for ECM for my support Centurion implants for my support vehicles who would use ECM to jam out, say, triple Logi, which was a pain, So, yeah, that's really all I would switch out for. I'd have slave implants, the new ambulance. I'd have speed implants. Speed was great fun for bumping people. That was great fun. But it's rare that I did that. It was uncommon that I did that. So it was like, between my talisman, I don't think I need anymore. I mean, I discovered that it's not as much the implants you have that make the difference, even though it's going to be amazing 30% boost in some areas, that it's the fit that's most important. If your fit isn't up to snuff, it's not going to be up to snuff if you have that boost. You know? It's nice to have, but it's not critical to always have that, always need it, you know, when you're, you know? So I've decided that, thank you very much CCP for the opportunity to play around with implants willy-nilly, but now that I've tried it, I don't really need all those different implant sets that I originally thought I needed and wanted CCP to change, you know, in-station swappings with no cooldown, because if you're in the same station as your implants at an NPC and you switch, you're going to get the cooldown. And I think they should really remove it if it's possible, if it's not like spaghetti code, but they should really do that, because people are going to get really outraged when they realize it's not the owner's fault that they couldn't warn people. You get 2 days armor timing. How the hell are you going to warn that, you know? And people will lose billions of ISK in implants constantly, and they'll always blame the owners of the, you know, they'll blame other players instead of rightly looking at CCP and go, wow, your armor timers compared to your hull timers should be switched. You guys are morons. What are you doing? You know, this is just, you know, as soon as the armor's gone, it goes low power, and then you got 5 days. Make it 5 days for armor timer, so people have time to accidentally spot it while checking out their implants, you know? I mean, it's even worse now, because if you think about it, we used to have the ability, well, it's not that bad actually. Well, no, it is that bad. I've only got 6. This used to be truncated. It used to be smaller, so you could see all your, you know, if you maximize, you'd be able to see all your clones. But now, you might not see GTFO, you know, I have named it. You might not see that. You know? You might not see it. And you got 2 days to accidentally just happen to open up and want to switch clones. How many people do that on a regular basis? You know, there's 44 clones still and business was picking up. God, I'm so happy they war decked me. You know, my business in service clones. It's so cheap. But it just started picking up popularity like last month and started to exponentially go up, and I'm so happy they worked at me now and blew up my stuff now, because God, the heartache of watching, yeah, imagine how, I've got, maximum I've got 44, imagine how much a Shab's Tranquility trading consortium stuff, how many implants they have stored there. Can you imagine? Yeah, and you can only search back 5 months. You can't go back further. Who's had any transactions with you for... Yeah. So I could only warn people who activated a clone up to 5 months ago. And then you got 2 days after your shields are gone to warn people. My God, you could start warning people once you get war decked, but... You know, I hope beyond hope that there would be rescue or, you know, long shots like that, or that they get bored or stop, or that they'd find my time zone choice too difficult for them to match, which I doubt it. They got 1,000 members. Don't give me a break. They can hit this easy enough. They didn't yesterday. It was really weird. I'm starting to suspect in my paranoid fantasies that they saw us grouping together and forming a coherent front against them. and they decided to blue ball us because of that, you know. But I don't know. I don't think so. That's giving them too much intelligence at the moment. I think they're just into metagaming, you know. That's where they pour all their energy. And yeah, the amazing pacing they're doing for grinding, it must have just, yeah. Yeah, even them pacing, there's still a plethora of timers. It's just amazing to watch. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, going forward, yeah, I've got the ideal setup now. I'm hoping they don't, like, I've left, but I know they're gonna still go for all their stuff because it's nearby and it's content. Why not? And we're putting up a fight, which is great for them because it's not boring, you know. Yeah, that's what I love. It's just basically clear cut. So yeah, so it's been 15 minutes now. I'll try to cut this short. So let's see now. I found a few things are just fascinating stuff. This is I think this is Warhammer underneath the Ministry of Internal Order 4, Planet 4, I think. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, this is a really good setup. It really is. It'll be lots of fun. Lacking a painter, which prevents me from using it prevents me from getting the best effect out of my missiles, actually. But yeah, we're gonna it's all about, like, I've discovered that what I'm gonna be doing is, like, we can either have the Griffins, which I've theory crafted a decent fit for, and I'm going to test when they attack next. And it's going to be great because I think I can get a decent 50% chance per minute. That's 3 cycles of jamming a single Guardian. And I've got 4 of them, so I can 50% every minute jam, and you won't know. It'll be random, and it won't be predictable, which is great. That's what I want to do. They are multi-boxing a bit, not like Ware 4. Like, the high-sec Wardeckers, I want to know I'm a competent defender of my Astra, is that they'll see my deaths and know instantly that, hey, I didn't lose any stupidly in the beginning and now have fit smart when you scan me. No, I've always had these, and they've always been fit smart, and they always will be fit smart, and they might even get better. You can't see it. This is my Mark 1, by the way, with the rigs, and it's fascinating. The stuff I've learned is priceless. It's foolish in the beginning. I'm going to watch my earlier videos and laugh at myself because it is quite funny, the mistakes I made. And of course it's a noob mistake, so it's going to be entertaining because not only will I be able to say, okay, I'll be able to teach a noob using a upwell the pitfalls I went through, because they're probably going to make the same mistakes. You know, I mean, how many people get the chance to go up against an insurmountable force and attempt to not win or just rage at them, but learn something. Learn which buttons to press first, what to do first, how long your missiles take, when to activate your target painter, because I have some with target painters, when to activate your target painter, not to alert the person you've chosen them to attack. The thing is, though, that I want to jam as many targets as possible, and that's why I was targeting all their Guardians, and it was a problem because I only this one only gives me 7 targets. So if I target, say, 6 Logi and rotate the jams and the newts on them, Oh, well, you can't. I also found you can't rotate newts because you need 5 cycles to break break the logi chain to cap a guardian out, and I'm assuming a nearest as well. But you don't need both of them. It's overkill if you do both. But if you have a newt on something like a guardian or an heiress, you have to keep it on permanently, or it's just not going to work. You might want to switch it after 5 cycles, which is, I think, 15 seconds, 5 cycles, a minute and a half. So every 2 minutes you could switch it, technically. But there's a lot of moving parts on this thing, and it's amazing how many moving parts on this thing. You'd think, oh, well, that's all I get. No, this is enough. So I've also learned that what I tried to do was fill up like this, but it didn't work that well. So I'm trying to avoid that and keep it like this. I used to have a target painter here. For the target painters, I'll put it there. Yeah, I better do that. I better keep my ECM here. It's just I wanted to trust muscle memory when I was pressing buttons, and I've had so many different fits that I've in the heat of the moment and waking up, actually, you forget where to place it properly. So yeah, target painter's here, and I put my ECMs here, and so it's just muscle memory, so I can press the hotkeys, and it's important too. Jesus. So auto repeat on for these. I've learned auto repeat off for these, except now that I've realized that it's impossible to fool somebody who you're going to shoot next when you have only like 6 logi targeted and only 1 DPS I want to shoot at. Who you think they're going to land the DPS on? That person who's targeted. So moving away from that, it took me a while to get experience with griffins. Like, can I multi-box griffins and upwells? And originally I thought, no freaking way, that would be impossible. Even when I was learning, it was no way. But after you get practice on it, you can start imagining ways of working around it. And I did. I discovered a way to have 100 kilometer, 1,000 meters per second, cap stable griffins putting down 50% chance a minute jams on 4 guardians, and they have Triglavians. So if anybody brings any extra, just, okay, you guys target the Triglavians, I'll deal with the guardians. And how do you deal with griffins? 4 griffins, like I've got 4 griffins if possible. How do you deal with that and sort through the legion of spam they have for targets like Dracobax now, and Cruiser Logi, and Ichthyrsus, sorry. And I realized, well, what you're gonna do is put Cruiser Logi, and might as well put Frigate Logi here, and nothing else. Or at least have it visible, and nothing else. I think this one can still... No, I don't think it can. I think I just went, screw it, we'll just do... I won't do visible thing, I'll just do... Which is probably kind of silly, and I shouldn't do that. I should fix that. But anyways, all practical purposes, I will see in the overview the logi, and I'll be able to sort by name. Now, you switch tabs. They made this a year ago or 2 ago. If you switch tabs, it'll remember which column you have ordered. So, as you can see, type for combat. That's pretty cool, actually. And then name, and I can go by name for logi because I'm only seeing not logi, and therefore I can divvy it up. See, my first guys will go for the first 4. I know they're putting out, they're honoring me with how much logi they're bringing to the fight because they're worried, and it's so shit.